So the first is a little bit more in depth on the industry meetup that we had around AGU last year. So this was in December during the same week that AGU was hosted in San Francisco. This had unbelievable reception after opening the registration. We got 75 people registered within only a couple of days. I think this was really boosted by a lot of people sharing this over LinkedIn and Twitter. So we got the word out pretty quickly, and a lot of people would be in town for this. So we had a lot of great reception. We also were able to get speakers from quite a few different companies, ranging from more established companies to startups. So here we have them listed out. We had Astra Digital, Capella, the Climate Corporation, Geosite, Loft Orbital, Loon, who is the balloon company that came out of Google or the alphabet, and Orbital Insight and Planet. So this was hosted at the Climate Corporation. Keely and Mike were really instrumental to allowing us that space, and Climate hosted us there for free. We also had about an hour of social time, an hour of discussions, and then another hour of more social time. And yeah, a lot of folks came together to make this happen in not too much time. So there were folks from Planet, Jesus, Keely, Mike, and a few others. So that's that. And then the next slide, we're going to talk about just the Bay Area chapter formation. So this was actually, we started discussing this just before that AGU meetup, and the Santa Clara Valley section was also trying to start a chapter at the same time. So we decided to join forces and create a joint chapter between Oakland, East Bay, Santa Clara Valley, and San Francisco. So these three sections kind of encompass the full San Francisco Bay Area. And there's actually a huge number of members in this region. There's a lot of involvement already. So there's already about 80 members, IEEE GRSS members. So it was pretty easy to create a chapter. We were able to get the signatures that we needed pretty quickly. These center figures just in the middle are just showing the support that we've gotten. So we had a few things go out to folks that were first at that AGU event. Not everyone was local, but we asked people there if they would be interested in learning about the local events, and we had a lot of reception. About 70% of people were excited about that. And then we also sent out a separate questionnaire to folks that were already members, and all of them were allowed us gave us permission to use them in the petition for creating the chapter. And we also reached out to the sections, so Oakland, East Bay, Santa Clara Valley, and San Francisco IEEE sections, and they were also really excited about the creation of this chapter. So huge thanks here to all the folks on the right, Mike, Yelu, Olivia, Min, and Hamed. These people are all, Mike is from Oakland, East Bay, Min, Yelu, and Olivia are from Santa Clara Valley, and Hamed is from San Francisco. So it's been great to have everyone working together. And just kind of to point out that there's really a lot of both industry and academic work going on in geoscience and remote sensing in the Bay Area location. So it's going to be great to have this chapter together to really foster those partnerships and networking experiences. And next slide. So we have a few activities that are potentially going to happen. All of these are webinars, just given the current state with COVID-19. So the first potential activity, the LA chapter actually reached out to us and asked if we'd be interested in hosting a webinar on the creative use of remote sensing for COVID-19. So what I listed here are just some of the brainstormed activities that we brainstormed as a group for different companies that we might be able to reach out to talk about how they've used remote sensing for these applications. And another thing to point out is most of these companies are local to the Bay Area. So again, it just points out all the stuff that's really going on in the specific region. And we also have two other webinars that are being planned for August. The Santa Clara Valley folks did quite a bit in webinars before the formation of the chapter. So they've been really instrumental in the creation of these webinars. Next slide. Okay, so this slide is just here because Mariko is going to